So many of my recipes come up when I'm making other recipes, and this is one of them. I had some white chocolate chips left over from my macadamia nut cookie recipe, and I had some raspberries in the freezer, and I thought, oh, I'll just make a white chocolate raspberry dessert like chia pudding thing. So that's what this is. It's super, super simple. You just need a bag of frozen organic raspberries. Again, you should always buy organic if you can. I know it's expensive, but thin-skinned fruits especially, just make sure you wash them. Buy organic if you're buying frozen, because they're really not that much more expensive. So a bag of raspberries, and the beautiful thing is, while you're making the white chocolate chip cookies, you can like be taking the raspberries out to defrost. And you don't have to defrost them. It just makes this part go faster if you do. So a whole bag of raspberries, and then a tablespoon of your smart sugar that you used in your macadamia nut cookie recipe, a tablespoon of the baking sugar alternative that you used. And again, if you don't have either one of those things, you can just use straight up erythritol or Monkfruit. Golden Monkfruit is fine. So a tablespoon of each, or 2 tablespoons of one if that's what you got. And this is not just to sweeten the raspberries, it's to help with like the syrup that you're kind of going to try to cook into this. And then, because you know I love my fiber, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And you're going to cook this until it kind of like starts to bubble and thickens up a little. In the meantime, take half a container of Greek yogurt, so about 12 ounces. It's like probably like 2.5 cups or something. And mix in a 1/4 cup of your white chocolate sugar-free chips. And again, this is like a treat. I don't recommend eating this for breakfast every morning, but if you're struggling with, you know, cutting back on sweets and you just need something, this is a nice little treat for those times. You do have to let it sit. I would let it sit overnight, but if you're making this for dessert in the evening, you can make it in the morning and then it'll be ready by nightfall. So once it kind of starts bubbling up a little bit, it's steamy, stir it all up, and then pour it on top. I've tried to do this seedless with jam, and it just has way too many carbs, so I tolerate the seeds. They're good for you, they're fiber. And then swirl it all around so that you kind of have like even bits of raspberry goop and yogurt. You can stir it all together if you want. You just won't get that like ripply, marbly effect that I actually really like. So stir it all around a little bit until it's all swirly. And then put this in the fridge for 8 hours or overnight so that the chia seeds can soak up the moisture. And if you want, you could top it with my Coconutty topping, which is half slivered almonds and half unsweetened coconut flakes, toasted until they're golden brown, and then blitzed in a food processor until they're kind of like dust. This is what slivered almonds look like. You can also just top it with almonds and coconut if you want, but yep, there we have it. Thanks. So you want to toast these in either a toaster oven or a regular oven if you're making a lot of it. Equal parts of coconut and slivered almonds, these big coconut pieces, and you want to toast them at 250 for about like 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if they're room temperature. These were from the fridge, so they took a little longer. And the way you know that they're ready is when you bend it in half, it snaps. If you bend it in half and it doesn't quite snap, then they're not quite ready. But once you hear that snap, you kind of know it's done. And then you'll see the slivered almonds are kind of like a light toasty brown. I'm just gonna let these cool in the toaster oven, and then I blitz them in a food processor once they've reached room temperature, just until they're chopped up. You don't wanna make butter out of it, so don't blitz it for too long, just like a few pulses until, you know, they're really small pieces like that. And then you can use that as a topping for yogurt or dessert or just about anything. So here is our white chocolate raspberry chia seed pudding, and it looks kind of weird, but it's actually really good. You can taste those white chocolate chips inside, and then the chia seed adds fiber, and it's all kind of swirly. And you can top this with the coconutty topping that I make with slivered almonds and coconut, and it's a nice high fiber, high protein, low carb dessert. So here we have our finished raspberry white chocolate chia pudding. I'm just topping it with a little bit of my coconutty topping. Voila.